So hello, this is Vince Southblessed on the Indigo Babies channel, and this is a new type of show that I'm doing called Overthinking, and essentially it's just analyzing fictional stuff. So I've got me analyzing non-fictional stuff on the channel, and it's I like to look into media and media analysis, but as a fictional story creator myself, obviously I apply the same amount of energy into kind of thinking about fictional stuff and how worlds work and how I can apply certain things to mine, or how I'm going to implement certain things in mine. So one of my favorite animes, shows, stories generally is Dragon Ball Z. So I wanted to do a video on Dragon Ball Z, and what I was actually going to do I'm not going to do it now, because in researching I found a few channels, namely was it Kwaman's Land, Blackenfist and Thundershot 69, and they had some really good videos. But there was one video that I watched which didn't really have a satisfying ending, and I understand why he was saying what he's saying, but as it relates to the theory, it was something that I kind of thought that not everybody already knew, but my version of why I think happened. I just thought it'd be the kind of thing that people had at least considered, and because their channel is so good and they've got such good theories, I thought let me do this one first, because maybe I can add something to the conversation. So the question is how come Gohan and Goten can go Super Saiyan so early on in relation to their age and in relation to everybody else, Saiyans and half Saiyans? And the short answer, I reckon, is to do with epigenetics. Now, epigenetics is the effect that the environment will have on your genetics, how the environment will affect how you grow, what parts of your DNA are going to end up being turned on and flourishing as a result of the environment. Now, to go into what I mean, a lot of people talk about the power of visualization, and the way that I end up breaking that down is the power of perceived possibilities. So essentially, there are things that you believe are possible and there are things that you believe are not possible, and these are based on things that you have seen in your life. Now, there's a term which is I think it's a fictional construct, but it reflects something factual, and that is the liminal. And the liminal is the part of the brain that technically separates your conscious and your subconscious. So that's why a subliminal is something that will affect your subconscious. Now, when people are talking about visualization and creating your own reality and all those sorts of things, what they're talking about is how you get a idea in your conscious mind and you put it into your subconscious mind, and by it being in your subconscious mind, it ends up flourishing. But to give a practical example of it, it's like somebody who plays professional football. Now, when they're going up to take a penalty, the reason why their subconscious believes that it is possible for them to score the goal isn't because they've sat around on a mountain thinking about it. It's because they physically scored so many goals in their time, whether it be in practice or against other teams. The idea of them scoring a goal seems so possible that sometimes it's something that actually ends up happening. And that's why it's important, phrases like practice makes perfect. It's because the more you practice something, you actually train your subconscious mind to believe that it's a possibility, which is the reason why it ends up upping the probability of those things happening. But obviously this isn't necessarily to do with practice, even though I do think it's to do with the subconscious. Now, the other thing to think about this is in relation to a child's subconscious mind. Now, psychologists say that a child is purely operating in his subconscious up until about the age of 7. So this is the important bit, is that when you're a young child, the information that is going into your brain is going directly into your subconscious, which is why when people have so many problems as adults, psychologists and psychotherapists nearly always bring it back down to childhood traumas, because even when adults have problems, if they had a emotionally, physically and all the other illities you can think of strong childhood, then it kind of helps you to deal with those because of the effect that information has when you take it in as an infant. So to go into the people, we have Goku, who went Super Saiyan because of the extreme things that he'd been seeing as it related to Frieza in the Frieza saga. Vegeta went Super Saiyan as a result of training. Now, again, I think that it's important. It goes back to it. The reason why Vegeta was able to go Super Saiyan just from training is because by seeing Goku, he knew it was possible, so he had something to attain, and his subconscious thought that he should be as good as Goku. Anything Goku can do, he should be able to do, was the reason why it was allowed to manifest. So the reason why I think that this theory is valid is because the main problem that people seem to have with the Goten and Trunks is the presence of Gohan, and what it took for Gohan to go Super Saiyan seems to make people think, well, it can't just be down to genetics. And I think that it's true, because when you think about it, when Gohan was born, Goku hadn't become Super Saiyan. So by the time Goku had become Super Saiyan, Gohan wasn't he was still an infant, but it wasn't completely embedded. Whereas when it comes to Goten and Trunks, their whole life they've been surrounded by Super Saiyans, and also they've had Gohan, which is a big presence in both of their lives. So not only do they know that their fathers who are full Saiyans can go Super Saiyan, but they're also aware that Gohan can go Super Saiyan as well. So embedded into their subconscious is the idea that one day they'll be able to go Super Saiyan. Now, the main question I think you'd then ask is, but do Saiyans have the same subconscious structure as a human being? And I think the thing that alludes to this is, if you go all the way back into Dragon Ball, there is a part where Goku basically climbs into bed and accidentally sees Bulma's private parts. Now, a few episodes later, Goku ends up having a dream about Bulma and that whole situation. And the reason why I think that's important is because Goku doesn't end up marrying Bulma. So that wasn't just a plot narrative to show Goku, end up falling for Bulma. I think that that's just a direct correlation to show that a Saiyan subconscious structurally is similar to that of a human's, because Goku wasn't aware of females. He wasn't raised around kind of mainstream media and sexualized women and all that sort of stuff, but yet seeing a woman in that situation still infiltrated his mind and his dreams like it would any other human, which I just think alludes to saying that when it comes to mental processing, that Saiyans and humans are similar. So that's basically what I think happened. It might sound simple to some people, because it kind of seemed simple to me, but it's just purely the fact that because Goten and Trunks had seen Super Saiyans their whole life, that's the reason why it would be so easy for them to do it. And just to add, actually, along like a biological theory when it comes down to cells and how cells divide and how cells grow, one theory basically states that there's only two things that a cell can do in any situation, and that is either grow towards what it likes or protect itself against what it doesn't like. So you put a group of cells, you put something harmful or a virus, they'll slowly protect themselves, make themselves hard. Or if you take those same cells and you put some food or some energy near them, they'll grow towards it. And I think that is the reason why future Trunks and past Trunks have different timings for when they went Super Saiyan as well, because future Trunks was in a state of constant stress. It would basically mean that even though he had the potential to do it, it was just a bit harder. Whereas past Trunks, because it was actually in a less stressful situation, he's got inbuilt into his subconscious that one day he's going to turn Super Saiyan. He's in a situation where there's no direct threats, but yet everybody's still training and striving to be as good as they can. And with those two things together, that's the reason why I ended up doing it. But I think that might be that part of it might be questionable, because it is kind of shown that Saiyans do seem to thrive of negative situations, so that protecting is growing for them. But again, just to summarize, the reason why I think that Goten and Trunks can go Super Saiyan so early is because it was embedded into their subconscious from the time of their birth that it was going to happen, therefore accelerating the process, in contrast to Gohan, who was born before people had gone Super Saiyan and then had to build up to it in the exact same way that Vegeta did. So this is Vince South Blessed Indigo Babies on Overthinking. If you liked it, like it. If you didn't like it, still you can like it anyway. Leave a comment, leave what you think, leave any other things you'd want me to talk about, or leave your alternative theories, and subscribe to see more and subscribe to see other things. So this is Vince South Blessed, and I hope you're having a blessed day.